It is the most interactive professional wrestling discussion show on the internet. WWE, Ring of Honor, Impact Wrestling. This is In the Hot Seat with your host, Fort Minners Project.
What's going on, guys? I'm back at it again in here for the video, and that's right for In the Hot Seat. And as always, I got a great show lined up for you guys, and I'm being joined by my brand new guest at this time. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, it's Gavin Ox, I'm representing Team Heel.
Awesome. Alright, starting things right away, and I'm going to start things off here with recently on Impact, and that's right. I had to talk about this, and I mainly talked about it only on Twitter, and that's with Mickie James recently turning heel, and as well with the whole championship run thus far, and I just wanted to get your thoughts on that, and where do you see it going from here, and how do you feel about that, man?
I think it's going to give another dimension to get people to notice the Knockouts division, even though they've already had so much credit in the past, or even in fact in recent years.
Right.
Now, with her turning heel, obviously we haven't had it in some time, so I think it's going to be a really good twist to her character for the new viewers of Impact. I hope it brings more ratings towards it.
Yeah, I completely agree with you on that one, and ever since she's been kind of like teasing it here and there, and then we actually fully got the full-blown heel turn, I thought that was really great, and I love her either way, whether it's going to be a heel or a face. She's always doing a tremendous and amazing job, and I just couldn't be any more prouder to be a Mickie James fan right now and a part of the James gang, so this is really cool, so I'm really interested to see where it's going to go. We haven't seen it since like 2006, and that's how long it has been for her to be able to be a heel now, and now to be as a champion and a heel. Definitely makes her some really amazing stuff. I love the new finisher that she has. At least I think this is a new finisher that she's going to be using now, and it's kind of like a figure 4 STF. I was not expecting that at all, so that was all crazy as all hell, but we'll see where this goes, and I think she'll be champion for a good few months, and maybe up until like probably even up until Bound for Glory. She is promoted to be on that show. And speaking of Bound for Glory, that is going into the next topic. And recently we have been seeing the Bound for Glory series matches already get underway. And I know a lot of people are already starting to see who is, especially to them, going to be the guy this time around to win the Bound for Glory series. Who do you think deserves it? Do you have like a top 5 or whatever? How do you feel about that? Who do you want to win overall?
Overall, it's got to be Magnus. Not because he's British, because he deserves a main event push on last.
Yeah.
That's the only person I could think could actually win it, but you never can tell. It's still early stages, but if Josie Parks wins it, I would screw.
That's actually really cool. I've been nothing but showing a lot of great support for Magnus. I actually really have been enjoying him too. I like this character, and his wrestling is really awesome, and I really hope he sometime, maybe hopefully throughout this year, we'll see him more being used. I love this tag team with him and Samoa Joe, which is really awesome, so I think he does deserve the main event, and to see what we can see out of him, and the Bound for Glory series really gets to be, so far to me anyway, one of my favorite things to watch, especially going for Bound for Glory, and it's definitely one of those things that gets you really excited. So at the moment, you know, it could be either down to Magnus, like you said too. He's definitely on there. Maybe a main event or two like Samoa Joe would be really cool, since I wanted him to win last year's too as well. And AJ Styles is definitely one of those guys too. I think he's really going to be able to win it probably this year, since we have seen this new change and he's like the Lone Ranger now. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do get to see that sometime once the Bound for Glory series is over and done with. So as of right now, we have a really good start. So I might actually continue this into another video sometime down the road as we get closer to the next TNA pay-per-view, but that's how I feel about that at the moment, so I am actually starting to enjoy it there. Then recently, with the recent talk that we had, Sting looking to come back, and not only come back with the main event Mafia as well, but with the new main event Mafia. So who do you think is going to be in this, and how do you think this is going to pan out? And do you think maybe we'll get to see that altercation between, obviously, with the main event Mafia and the Aces and Eights? How do you feel about that?
I think it's going to be a different dynamic, even though TNA's always loved their stables within the space of 2 years apart, I've noticed. But it's like, if they bring some young guys into it, not like just say, prime example, Rampage Jackson, just for a different diverse.
Right.
Because when people say, oh yeah, he deserves to get his training and so on into the business, and the way it makes it me feel, I've actually think in a top secret location, they've been planning this a while.
Right.
So I think Kurt Angle's probably trained him on the sly because some reason or way or form TNA can actually hide things from the dirt sheets, which is quite good. Throw him in, Kurt Angle, obviously. It'd be interesting who else they can put in because they've got decent amount of talent on there between experience and still young guys. That's what I like about TNA. I'm surprised people has not tweeted onto this. About TNA, that's what I don't get when they keep slaying about the view rates because their roster is very dynamic, not plastic, not predictable. That's why I enjoy TNA as well as they look after the British guys. Throw Magnus in there as well. Not because he's British, because like he needs more establishing. And the way they say it on commentary every week, Magnus is red hot at the moment. There must be something in the pipeline for him. Don't know who else can go in there. It's very hard to pick.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see how this is going to actually turn out now. Since we're taping this right now, since the next episode for Impact, maybe we will get some hints on who's going to be in the new main event Mafia. I haven't really had all that much problems with the other one. Obviously, the other people that were in there probably won't be coming back. Maybe at least one of them, I can see that. Obviously, Booker T is looking to come back and work SmackDown and be SmackDown General Manager and continue things where he left off there. So it's kind of in a way hard to tell, so I think maybe someone that we haven't seen in a while would be able to go on there. Rampage Jackson actually would be interesting, but he's basically feuding with Kurt Angle this time, and they're going to be facing each other. So that's going to be interesting to see how they will actually coexist up until then, and maybe have things, escalate a lot more going into Battle for Glory. So I can see why you would say that too at the same time. So we do have a lot to look forward for going into that. And now getting into the next thing, and this is something that I don't really normally get to talk about, but since this has been going on lately, and NXT, this is what I'm getting to now. NXT, I've been seeing a lot of great things, and I think it should be talked about more, so that's why I'm bringing it here on in the hot seat. And there have been interesting things that have been going on, so with one of them being, and that's where we have a Women's Championship tournament. And I don't know if you've been watching it that much, but if you could give your thoughts, that'd be fine. On who do you think is going to win it, and how do you feel about it overall? And overall, if you want to talk about NXT, how do you feel about it as a whole?
Well, with NXT, obviously, I've got a couple of friends who are actually in NXT, so that's why I'm using. I've got Adrian Neville, of course, who's in there. And I've known Paige's family for a while.
That's awesome.
So, but I really want Paige to shine because everyone's red hot on her at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's not very often you get a buzz about the women's division or Divas division in WWE. Nice. She's got so much buzz around her on the internet. I've got a feeling if she wins this title, takes it to Monday Night Raw, she'll get more attention on to Monday Night Raw onto the females division. I wish WWE would latch on to what the fans want to see. Because the amount of times you've seen signs we want Paige or on Monday Night Raw tapings and so on, it's amazing to see. Even though she's on NXT and people used to say, quote unquote, it's all a break when it comes to the females division. Now, if she wins this tournament, this could make people tune into even more towards NXT, even though they've got really good prospects, good young roster there. So I'm hoping they'll do something with her, and I'm hoping she wins this.
Yeah, that's really great. I've always loved Paige, and the way that she's been actually portrayed too on NXT and everything, being the anti-diva, and she's definitely one of my favorites to watch on there. So I think it would be only about time that we will get to see her on the main roster pretty soon, and then she can feud with like Caitlyn or even AJ too. to get more people on the Divas roster, which is really cool. So I'm pretty sure that Paige will be the person to be able to win that whole entire tournament once it's over and set and done with, and I think she would definitely deserve that, and I see nothing but great things coming out of her, and she's definitely awesome, so I can't wait to see some more, and hopefully we'll get to see her maybe on Raw or SmackDown in the future. Alright, so getting into as well with more NXT, and recently we do have a new NXT World Heavyweight Champion. We went from Seth Rollins to Biggie Langston. Now we got Bo Dallas as a new NXT World Heavyweight Champion. How do you feel about that? Do you see anyone else maybe stepping up into the plate and actually going up against Bo Dallas? And how do you feel about him overall as a character?
Overall, I rate Bo Dallas. When I first, obviously, I didn't tune into the first series when he first came in. Or was it season 6, whichever one it was, or 7. Now, I think, obviously, the next person I think should get it is Adrian Neville. I hate calling him that. I know him as Pac, or know him by his real name. Right. I'm sick of WWE giving generic names.
I don't blame you.
Bo Dallas versus Adrian Neville could be a really good eye-opener
to
what cruiserweights we've actually got in WWE, even though there's no cruiserweight division as it used to be. Now, with someone of his caliber against Bo Dallas, could be a really, really good match. Could be match of the year if it's done right. Because you know how WWE water down stuff. Now, if Adrian Neville shows his Dragon Gate stuff, what he's done around the world, this kid has got it.
Yeah, I
could actually see him as a really good monster heel, in fact.
Right. Yeah, I actually don't really mind him that much. I actually was pretty surprised that he actually won the NXT World Heavyweight title. I thought Biggie Langston was going to be able to retain, but he basically was able to get the title due to dirty tactics and everything, so that's how he got that. So it's going to be pretty damn interesting to see who will be able to step up to the plate now and to see who's going to be the next challenger. It could literally be anyone, maybe like Corey Graves or Adrian Neville, like you said. So we still got other people to go up against him and maybe even have a rematch with Biggie Langston and see where that goes. So I actually like that NXT has titles, they have tournaments, they have all that good stuff, and a lot of stuff that we really don't get to see in WWE anymore, so that's why I really wanted to talk about NXT and bring that more into my channel and everything, so people can actually check it out on Dailymotion or whatever site you can find it on, but that's where I get my NXT fix on there. So getting back into one more thing before we end things officially here, and that is with Rampage Jackson. I haven't really got to officially talk about him that much, and since he's recently been the new guy to be signed from Dixie Carter, everyone was thinking some other like WWE guys were able to come and that were free agents to TNA, but we actually have Rampage Jackson be that guy. Where do you think this is going to go with him, and especially with the big match too with Rampage Jackson and Kurt Angle? How do you feel about that overall?
Overall, with Rampage Jackson, he's bringing in views. It's like when people used to say 0.8 aces and 8s, so the old cliche thing. Now with 0.9, it's still an improvement, but could still be better. But with Rampage Jackson, he could actually turn heads. And obviously, like I mentioned earlier on, that if he's a part of this main event Mafia, like if they're bringing some young guys to put them in, make a whole new one to put them over, I'm all for it.
Right.
Because obviously you need something that diverse, different style. It's like when people say, "Oh, is he brought in for like the Mike Tyson situation in WWF Attitude Era?" I don't see that. I could actually see him probably a dominant force in TNA. No one's seen his ring attributes at the moment. All we've seen is promos.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been walking out ever since we actually had that news broke to us, and literally the next week we did get to see him. I wasn't expecting that at all. I thought that was really surprising to me personally, and I've never seen any of his fights before, but you know, just by seeing him in general, just turned me into a huge fan, and he seems like the real deal. So I think he's actually going to be staying a lot longer, especially when we had King Mo there. He wasn't really there for that long, so I think we're going to see a lot of crazy ass shit, especially in the future from Rampage Jackson. And I wouldn't never expect to have Rampage Jackson and Kurt Angle actually have a match. So hopefully this will be about Fligure. I think this would be like somewhat a good, like almost towards the main event, if not the main event for Bound Fligure. I wouldn't be surprised if it does. I think that would be really damn awesome. So I'm really excited on what Rampage Jackson has to offer, especially for TNA, and I think it can help him out too a lot, and especially with the ratings since they were being so low and everything. So I think that's another great addition there. So I have no hate whatsoever, especially with him. So that's how I feel about that, and that has to do with all the topics that I do have planned for the show. Is there any shout outs that you want to give out to before we end the show officially?
Basically, at the moment, obviously you've seen the video that I've put together for British Wrestling Radio. Basically, on July 5th, we're doing a 24-hour live radio broadcast. I'm actually hopefully broadcasting it from my channel. Basically, we're raising money for Callum Murray. We've had countless people promote it, like Sonny from, obviously everyone knows who Sonny is. To Nigel McGuinness, to everyone. So hopefully you all tune in. We've got guests phoning in, surprise guests. It's all above board at the moment. If you head over to the website, you can make a donation. It's a couple of dollars or whatever currency your country is. You're listening to this. It's basically raising money for that little boy. He's had over 40 operations since he was being born. And they're running out of money, so they need people's help to do that. If you tune into British Wrestling Radio every week, I know it's UK time, like 11 o'clock, Friday nights, but the main one is actually 24-hour broadcast on July 5th. Tune in any time during the day. You'll find us on there. Plus, I'm getting emotional talking about it. Plus, as well, big shout out to Team Hill. Thank you ever so much for having me part of your crew, and thank you, David, for having me on this broadcast.
No problem. Anytime. You're more than welcome to come back on the show. Maybe we'll have the rest of the Heel podcast members, and that would be really awesome. So anyone's more than welcome to come on in a hot seat and definitely check out your show. That was really cool, so I'll definitely will be checking it out. And guys, definitely look down below in the description box for all that. Follow me on Twitter, check him out for Gavin Knots and everything. And that about does it for me, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. See you guys. Peace.